Business Unlimited plans. Get 5G nationwide. Plus, massive data capacity. Plus, mix and match to get more of what you need. All for as low as $30 a line. From Verizon, the network businesses rely on.
That's unbelievable. That's really not what ever should happen. It shouldn't happen the other way either. So that issue, which is going to be, the members of the Senate are going to have to figure out what they think about that, whether they put a lot of weight on Mr. Trump telling the crowd to fight like hell, to basically stop the counting of the electoral votes and all of the challenges to the election that he kept raising ahead of time that nobody else was finding very persuasive. Whether that really does constitute a direct confrontation, a direct conflict with their powers, it is a remarkable thing to me that senators in the Republican Party are not more, don't say they're more upset about that. They had to hide. They had to run away. They were at risk. You would think that would have a big impact.
I wonder, David, if it's possible. Again, you've actually tried one of these, defended one of these, not of a president, but of a public official. I wonder if, in fact, the more grave the charge, the harder it is to convict. And that is the sense, if we really did believe our president had specifically intended and desired for that attack to be on the Capitol, that is so frightening. You're almost inclined to say, I don't believe. He did say some things, but he didn't realize where it was going to lead.
You have a deep and, dare I say it, almost twisted understanding of the human psyche. I hope that's not true. It shouldn't be that way. But you may be right that
the sport of boxing, that's a lifelong love.
It's an honor to be able to serve my community.
We want it to be rooted in peace. We want it to be rooted in love.
if you look back in 2014, there was a rumor they were trying to make like a lounge type deal with their AMC studios. So when theaters and stuff reopen, they might be able to add a few things in. I always messed around saying they could be a cannabis lounge, sell people munchies and show flicks of clips on their screens. So technical, it could go back up to 10. You might be able to make a little bit over 30% on it. There's volume, it's liquid, so you're not taking too big of a risk if you have like a stop under 4. But yeah, after this pullback, it's actually a pretty wild chart. But it could reset back to 4. But because of what I mentioned, and if the economy opens up by the summer, yeah, so Zynga's actually one of my favorites. I have a position in options for Zynga. So to make it very clear on Zynga real quick, take a look at this. Starting from 2012, this is the Farmville sell-off. Look what it did for about 2,000 days. That's pretty nuts. This is a good company. It's at least worth $15 billion, wouldn't you say? And we can use EA's purchase of Glue Mobile. It's a small-time competitor in the mobile gaming service, like Zynga. So because they paid a 30-some% premium, shares valued at $12.50 for a company that's worth about $2.4 billion, Zynga should continue to go higher. Earnings should be a beat today when it comes out. So it should be positive, but I do not know if that will impact price in a good way. However, because of this chart and the accumulation I see, and with EA's purchase, there could be rumors of acquisition of Zynga. If you ever used their platforms, played Zynga Poker, you know it's smooth. They haven't even gotten to iGaming yet. So iGaming companies can use Zynga platforms for poker or gambling, and that would drive it through the roof. All they have to do is say, we are getting into iGaming, and that would send the shares at least 30% upward. So that's one thing that can happen. The second thing that could happen is an acquisition rumor, or the earnings beat can be so powerful, it can send it up to this level here, back to 2012. So 15 is a good target short term. And if you want to hold it, I would say by the end of the year, it'll be 20. But be careful of the short-term chop here. Like, it could chop all around this area, even with an earnings beat that if the market's cooling off a little bit, it could get dragged into that mess. So Zynga's great to hold for the longer term, probably 3 to 6 months, and you can invest for about 12 months. However, if you're trying to make an earnings play, it is worth a speculative move. You could put your money in it, targeting a nice move. It's a speculation risk, though, so it's not a sure thing. But it is likely the stock goes up based on the reasons I mentioned. Because this is only the first of many continuations. So this is a nice starting trend from this accumulation. And it's worth a lot. So that's my thoughts on Zynga, Batman. Let me take a sip of my coffee here. So some of you may not know about DeFi, decentralized finance. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what it's been doing, just so you guys can pay attention for some of the newer stuff that comes out. So this is an index on FTX. Yeah, Uni, yeah, all this stuff. So this is the perpetual index. It has all these different DeFi tokens in it, including Uniswap, which I'll pull up now. So it's been doing some crazy stuff. Actually, this is the Uniswap main thing. Let's go to the perp on FTX so it's much easier to read. Unless they changed it. 45. Where's the one with it being $20 right now? Let me see. Is it this one? Yeah, here we go. We use Gemini, however you want to say it. So there should be an index on FTX for that. However, the chart was a lot cleaner on the other one. Anyway, Uniswap and DeFi tokens, they're basically platforms that are decentralized and they can run applications, is the shortest version to sum it up. You can definitely look into a more detailed explanation of it. I might even post something on my website, emporosresearch.com, if you want to check it out. I made a new post showing this podcast or webinar. and I shared some important tactics that you guys might be able to use when trading in this, parabolic market, or if it starts to pull back, you might want to employ a couple of different tactics to protect your portfolios in case of a market correction. The other one is Sushi Swap. Sushi Swap, yeah. So Sushi is a competitor to Uniswap. Let's see, which one do I want to pull up here? Here's the FTX one. So they've been on a parabolic run, as you can see. Like, they listed, had accumulation for about 3 months, and in crypto, that's kind of a long time. And it just went parabolic, like really parabolic. But it's such a powerful, innovative feature that I think at least another $1 trillion is going into the crypto market cap. So it's a matter of being at the right place at the right time after the next wave happens. Another one I pay attention to is Solana. This is a platform that rivals Ethereum in processing power. So for those of you who don't think there's enough gains on Ethereum, or there is a few bearish fundamentals with Ethereum because of the scaling issue and ETH 2.0 being buggy, that in short, there's concerns with that. So Solana is something that processes transactions faster and is backed by Media Research, which is the hedge fund that owns FTX.com, a big derivatives exchange. So this can go a lot higher also. And then Serum is one of their main promoted coins on FTX. So these are the, some crypto tokens that I pay attention to. I used to do tokens on Binance way back in the day, but this stuff is a lot more interesting and, pretty powerful, to be honest. I do have a couple. So this volume indicator helps me screen accumulation in stocks. So I'll get into that if you want later, but it helps me find, like Sundow, I was able to find some accumulation using this volume indicator. And I have this grid. Let me turn the pivots on, actually. And then MakerDAO is, maybe you guys heard of MakerDAO. So if you look for crypto to invest, you want to look for something that platforms make money. Yeah, so the platform is how companies will make money. Well, it's not companies, it's tokens, but a platform creates revenue and creates the applications that can run on the platform. Like Ethereum is the biggest one. Solana was the other. And Serum is an application that runs on Solana, if that makes sense. So when I look to invest in something, I look for something that can be run as a platform itself, which makes money, or something so powerful like Serum, where it could generate revenue. Because that's the key with this stuff. If you want to invest, you want something that will make profit. Otherwise, you're just speculating on the tokens, which is also fine if you're a trader. But if you want to hold and invest, you want an actual application that can make revenue in the future. Because technology is exponential, right? Reserve rights, you mean like RSR? Is that the token you're looking at? This has been around for a while. Let me pull a USD. This is on Binance and on Huobi. And do they have it on FTX? Yes, they do. Yeah, so this actually looks like something that is early still. Like you might be able to double your money. Like, 'cause look at this. This looks like accumulation to me, right? And when FTX added it, let's go a little bit back to Binance and do a little bit of some TA on it. Now that's a bit of a spike. Oh, that's FTT. Oh, we'll get into that. Back to RSR for a second, though. Bitcoin pair or USDT pair? Let's see. So this came out 2020. So this looks more like accumulation to me. It's ranging. September 2020 to now. Okay, I'll look at BNB coin and FTT coin and maybe the other ones also. But yeah, RSR. Melvin Cat meme. Yeah, I like it. I like the name. OSR is a good speculative play. I'll have to look into the research, though, for the fundamentals of it. But based on what I see here, Let me try to pull one more thing up with it, just so I can see if my indicator can pick up some accumulation. Yeah, like it had its big spike, and it's recovering now in a sort of channel. Now this is great. This is the accumulation I was talking about. It's been around since 2019, and then it finally had its spike in 2020, August. August is actually when a lot of the DeFi tokens and Parabola started. So yeah, this looks like it should go higher in the future. And the fact that it hasn't really pumped yet means all that money will flow out eventually for a correction. And we might see some money move here if it's good. But based on what I see, it looks good. So yeah, BNB and FTT. Wow, yeah. So as I said, exchanges, what do? They make money, right? They're like brokers. So when a company makes money, their exchange token goes up. That's just supply and demand basics. So it's hard to buy in now. That's actually an insane move it had. Wow. You guys are right. It was $6 in March. Well, I guess it crashed with the big crash, but this just happened. 1 week, 2 weeks. Yeah, pull back to 100. You might be able to sneak in for a good move because it probably goes higher. And the same thing can be said for FTT, which is the derivative exchange token, which went up from recently 8 to about 20. They're not done. They probably go. So if you expect another trillion to go in the crypto market cap, which I do, I think there's enough innovation there now, and more institutional investors are getting into it, which would, I think at least $1 trillion extra into the market cap is logical, right? So in that case, these exchanges are going to kill it. So they're not done yet, but you got to make sure you can survive a normal correction of about 20% on these, because these are crypto assets. Like, let's go back to that real quick. So when I say correction, when it has it spike up, that's a pretty big move right here, just on that alone. But you would drop at least 20% in like a normal correction, right? So you have to be able to survive these swings. So that's why I mentioned, go to my site, Emporos Research. It's a scaling method. You add in partials. So you don't enter your full position. If you have a 10K portfolio, don't put your whole 10K in the stock or the asset. Go in with like 2K. And then if it dips, add in the next 2K. Because these are exchange tokens, you should be all right with that strategy of being able to buy the pullbacks. There's probably a few other exchange tokens that might catch light. I think, is Huobi one of them? I don't even know what it's called anymore, to be honest. Huobi token. There we go. Yeah, so here's another one. So you can apply this logic to a lot of the exchanges. So find one that has a lot of new users coming in. And with the regulation that we might see, or at least them attempting to regulate this space, we might see exchanges come up that are decentralized. Serum is a good example, SRM token that I mentioned earlier. So there's a lot to look forward to in this space. Do not think you missed the boat if at least another $1 trillion in capital is going to flow into it. Just be careful. Make sure you can handle these 20 to 40% drops, because that is the norm here. You don't want to be stuck with your portfolio in something where you can't have ammo to jump in. GUVAF, is that a stock? Let's take a look. GUVAF, Juvalife, OTC. I do love this stuff where it gets listed and it has fresh history. So regardless if you know nothing about the company, which profit margin, pretty good numbers. Cultivation, manufacture, research, and development of medical and that's a cannabis company. Is it Canadian? It sounds Canadian. It's probably Canadian. I will check it now, though. Let me pull it up on my other screen. It doesn't really tell me if it's Canadian off the bat, but so like Sundial, I do think these are worth getting into, because we're going to see lounges popping up in Canada where you can go and smoke recreationally, especially when COVID gets, officially announced that it's over and they open up You will see lounges. You will see more regulation, opening of regulation, more dispenser areas. Okay, a California company. I like it. I mean, it's 158. This is like catching something early. I have to learn more within. In something like this, you should go in it. A good example that I was into that we bought at 7 was Cresco Labs. It's a cannabis company also. They sell it in dispensaries in my state, which is still medicinal. So it already had its original spike, though. So you do have some history. And then it, the crash in March. And now we're having this parabolic run because they sell in dispensaries that keep getting open throughout the country, right? So the more they open up across the country, the more they're allowed to sell, the more money they make, the higher the share price will go. So I'm still going to hold this. It's probably a $30 stock, honestly. But I can't feel good about myself saying to buy stuff that's already up this much. So you have to use your best judgment and use some trading knowledge that you learn and, manage your risk accordingly. And Juva seems like something that could do what Cresco did. Looks like they have a Canada branch, right? Look at this. So I see one on the Canadian stock, and then there's the OTC on the US exchange. So I do like it. If you think they make money, if you try maybe sample their product, it's one way of doing research, isn't it? But yeah, I do like it being in California. They're already open, so they can start selling. If they're a Canadian branch, move there. Take a sip. Let's see what the news is, and I want to check Tesla out. CyberArk. That sounds interesting. What's cyber? What is CyberArk? Software company. Not too liquid, though, so had a spike. Software service. Software as a service companies are worth looking into, though, because of the digital switch that a lot of companies are having. Don't see anything too special with it, though. Anything else you want to check out? What's GME even at today? It's the wrong GME, I think. Yeah, there we go. Same deal for a trade. It did a nice pullback. Technicals could pop up back to 80, but no, you never want to be too late to a move. There's a lot of other plays out there now. Metals. We talk about metals. I'm a big fan of platinum. Here's the futures, and here is the derivative. Indicator was flashing a buy. OGI cannabis. We'll get back to metals, but platinum is my favorite. Silver's next, and then gold is good, but you have to be careful with it because countries sell gold when they need funds. So a lot of countries own gold and they sell it to get capital to fund their country. So that puts selling pressure on gold that you won't see on, say, silver or platinum. Thanks, Salam. So OGI. This reminds me of OCGN, which is crazy what it did. So I'm going to give you an example with this technicals before I go into the... I love the industry. Agriculture, commodities, milling. That is the sector to be in for the next couple of years, I think. So that's good. However, be careful with the spike up. It could do something like OCGN where it spiked up like this, right? It was lower. It was like 28 cents, spiked up, pulled back, spiked up again, and then went crazy. So it could do this. That's a possibility. And with cannabis being so in demand and demand increasing, it could go to 10. But be careful buying it up here. As I said, you don't want to, you could lose 30 to 40% easily. But if you believe in it and have growth, don't go all in with your position. Scale into it if you believe in it. I will need to do some research on this, though. So I can pull it up and get back to you if you want. I'll put it on my site. But there's an example of the technicals between two different, this is a biotech company. One's the cannabis, so take that with a grain of salt. Orengram or Organigram. That's a funny name. Another good thing is look at this accumulation. Like, wow, I wish I would have found this literally 5 days ago. We do have history here too, so we will probably see 10. Like I said, this is a great sector. It's not too late with the spike up after that accumulation, but it's not the best entry either, because the only thing you control in trading is your entry. So partials is the best way to handle this. You can catch the move. You won't get wrecked if it drops, and if it's good, it'll go back up. It's tricky right now because we see a lot of markets, cannabis especially, in like a hyped. It's not hype though. 2018 was hype. Like, what is Canopy Growth Corp? I'll show you what hype is, and I'll show you the differences. So this was hype in 18. This is hype. And this is the correction. And then a little bit of accumulation before spike back up due to demand and regulation laws coming in. So if that's the case, we should have a little bit more to go on some of the newer ones that are fresh. One we've been in since $8. I found Space, pretty textbook stuff. SR flips here, support resistance. Mapping markets is something that some of you may or may not know how to do, but I could get into detail with that another time. So we had our attention spike in February with Space, and then the crash in March, and then a billionaire backs this Branson, Richard Branson. So with the rockets and Elon Musk and everything, that stuff goes in like a sector pump. I'm about done with it though. I think we're going to see a correction back to 40. ISH. One manufacturing center. Equipment. Equipment's good. So if they're selling equipment for like other cannabis companies, like selling shovels in a bull run, that's cool. Wow. This is a cheap one. What's the liquidity on this? Wow, 2.1 mil volume per day. Average is about 300K. 300K is a little small, but not awful. Volume will come later if it's good. Is it based in the US? Or is it I guess it is, huh? So retail trade. So in the summer, okay, Canada, a lot of these Canadian stocks are moving to the US also once the legislation passes. So here's what I mean about the volume bars. I want to show you an example on SNDL. Let me add this to the list, and then I'll come right back to it. It's a little hard to see, but we see the accumulation in the white volume bars here. So let's see if we see it on ISSH. We see some, but it's not as consistent as SNDL, and it already had its spike. I'd be careful. It should range a bit more before it pops off. I'd give it a little bit of time, but it looks good. I also like this, how it's fresh. 2018, probably the spike up in the hype cycle. And this could be all accumulation also. But it looks like it has more time to accumulate. So if I wanted to map it, I'd say, like a retest back down here, as it would range with a eventual target of $1. Like SNDL, they have to be $1 to remain on the NASDAQ. But I need to learn more about this to give you like a good, a good opinion on it. But that's what I see with my chart right now. It looks like it has a little bit more ranging to do, and this could be more of like a test pump type deal, back to its 2018 high. So let it crawl around its 2018 high. You see something like this maybe. Then eventually it could spike up in later December, October. Probably with regulation, I would say. Retail stores especially. If more people are getting into it, gets regulated, more dispensaries open, then you could see your spike. If that makes sense, I hope. So yeah, I covered most of the 2021 Q1 stuff, metals, some of the DeFi cryptos. Some of this stuff is just pretty nuts. Gold, yeah, like I said, bullish on gold. Just be careful with countries selling it. Like, I take very wide position on it because I think it does go to like 25, 23 eventually. HCMC. Wow, what the heck is this? Volume 9.7 bill? What in the world? So yeah, see what I mean with the white volume bars here? This would have let you know something was going to happen. But this is nuts. It's only what? Not even a penny yet? Delayed because it's OTC or what? I think it is OTC. But 9.7, yeah, OTC, okay. Food retail. Yeah, so the sector's good. I like the sector. Fast food, I'm a big fan of Wendy's for like dividends and stuff. Long-term investment. But if you want to speculate, food retail and food services, fast food, is a good sector to be in. So what kind of even move is this? Yeah, what? $9 billion pump? I mean, absolutely give it time. Put this on your watch list. You know, I will actually do that right now. You're going to have to watch this. You can't enter now. You're going to have to watch it. I mean, you can trade it. I mean, you're not going to get stuck in it. There's billions in this thing. So, yeah, you can jump in anytime. Just make sure you're okay. Yeah, watch it for sure. But that $1 billion liquidity, if it's real, it should be. I mean, you can jump in without any issues. So, like, this is when I use some technical stuff here. Yeah, it's pretty high. So I look for a little bit of a drop, but it probably goes high. This will readjust. It should readjust. It's probably not used to this low level. I do like how it was accumulated, though. But if this is 9.7 bill, good sector, a lot of volume. Is that all it is, though? Is this, what happened to it? It's messing up my whole chart. Is this real? Yeah, what? Was there a split or some type of dilution of some sort? Yeah, there must have been. What the heck? This is like a never-ending game. What is this? It's a 2014 company. Yeah, that was wild. I didn't expect that. Any other stuff you want me to check out? Having fun. This is Tesla, I think, drops a little bit, so be careful. Michael Burry, the legend, is shorting it also, so that means you got to pay attention. Grid would say, yeah, probably 6. Yeah. Michael Burry shorting it means be careful, take some profits if you're in Tesla, I would say, is pretty good opinion to have on it. So for oil is one, actually. So this is how you can analyze your indices. If oil keeps going up, we're going to see the bull market continue for a bit. That's just, everything runs on oil. We have some self-harm policy in Washington driving oil up is the best way to describe that, and keeping it at that level. So 62 for oil probably goes higher and higher. I think this grid is spot on for where it could go in the short term. Yeah, so AMC, as I said earlier, the text looked really good for a trade. I can pull it up one more time. Daily chart. Yeah, see, like that looks pretty good. A lot of the people probably got shook out. It's at 5, back to where it was. You could probably see when the economy opens, like 10. Fill this gap. Markets don't go always up. They don't go always down. So it'll breathe. So for a trade, I like it. You know, you're not risking too much. I think you can just put your stop under the day's low under 5 and you'll be fine. Yeah, it's starting to move, huh? Look at that. Yeah, I mean, 7 to 8, even short-term stuff looks decent. We have good volume, too. It's fun to play around with these for now. Yes, here's a penny stock in the equipment industry. More 3D printing. Doesn't seem very liquid, though, so 2 mil. That's not bad. It's on my watch list. Look at that. You guys might watch this also. So I'm going to give you my... I like Wendy's for a dividend stock. They just increased it. And I like the fast food sector right now. When? Let's see. Let's take a look. Yeah, I have a hard time saying this goes lower. So if you want something with dividends, I like when. Dividends are something that I haven't been able to go into yet because of the fever of the market, but I do love them, and I will find some more eventually. I used to do some plays where you jump in and you hold for 3 months, get paid the dividend, and then get out. Pharma. So one of my favorite pharma stocks was MNKD. Still going up a little bit. It's worth buying on a pullback, though. I think it's at least a $10 stock. And I did a lot of research on this one, so I feel confident saying that. The vaccine stuff, you want to do more like... You have to balance your pharma with speculative, because they're creating COVID vaccines, right? Which will lead it to grow, and rumors will buy it up. That's how these bio and pharma companies usually work. So Sigma Labs is one, I think. That's technology. Where's the pharma one? That's defense. I thought I had a pharma one on here. No, defense, software. I do have another watch list I'll pull up. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick, and I'll give you some. I have one on my other trading view. Just give me 1 sec. We'll pull it up. Ooh, here's one. This one's already up, though, unfortunately. Zine. Damn, I think we're too late on this. Unfortunate. Maybe not, but definitely for the short term, we're too late on it. CRISPR could be good on a pullback. That's more genetics, though, not really pharma, what you're looking for. Codex, we're probably really too late on this one also, yeah. DVAX, maybe? Damn. Like, everything, we're just slightly late, huh? This market's nuts. SRNE, maybe? I swear I can't pick one that hasn't gone up. I'm sorry. I guess that's what makes it the game, though. Huh? ADPT. Let's try this one. This one could be one. Hasn't done nothing crazy yet, and it's fresh-ish. It's I don't really know much about them, to be honest. Not great volume either, which could be good for biotech, but not good if you have a larger portfolio. But for speculation, it could be good. So this is one, maybe. ADPT. Pretty flat, though. I don't see anything special with it. I'll have to do some research on my own and find some newer stuff then. Yeah, no problem at all. Grillos, thank you. But I do believe pharma stuff is biotech and biopharma is worth getting into still. That's a good sector also. So everything's based in sectors. We have agriculture connections with more biotech because of the because of the pandemic. It leads to that stuff going up and more innovation going into it. So sector-wise, it's good to keep your niches in order with like 3D printing, manufacturing, agriculture, biopharma, biotech for speculative purposes, some of them. Investing, Mankind Corp is one. So they make the delivery device that uses these vaccines. So they make different delivery devices. So thinking outside the box like that is how you find your next bio play. And of course, using your analysis to find some accumulation triggers. I would use the white chart, but I don't think it shows up right on your guys' screen. I'm not sure. Maybe I want to test it now. And SNDL going up more. Zynga's pulling back a little bit, which a little bit worrying, but it's not terribly concerning because earnings is coming and people get spooked before the earnings call. They sell out. So it's not awful. It makes sense. But I am holding through the earnings. Yes, so do and don'ts. I mentioned some tips on my website, emporosresearch.com. First article up there. You don't want to chase pumps. I like SNDL, Sarah. We've been in it since 47, and I do not think it's done yet. But for newcomers, enter in partials. Don't put all your money in one basket. Stick to your convictions. Don't chase unless you have more experience. Do not chase your stocks. And do not hold longer than usual. If you're starting to take a loss, exit because this market's crazy and you can always go back in. I think that's the most important insight I could give new traders due to this hype. Program. TradingView works when you're a beginner. Then you can get nice. So, Sarah, you can take a little bit off the table, take some profit, or you can let it run. You always want to let your winners run more than you'd think because everything's running up a bit. But you also don't want to get stuck and not take anything off the table. So program-wise, like, are you looking for a broker or are you looking for like software, like TradingView? And if you guys want anyone who signs up, I will give you this grid and a few other things like this volume indicator. I'll give you a trial of it if you guys want to have some indicators. Like there is, if you like MA strategies too, I will share this. Maybe like I also have a custom RSI, custom MACD if you use that. I don't mind sharing some of them with you all. It's been fun so far. TD Ameritrade. Interactive brokers usually, or Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab owns TD Ameritrade now, though, but Charles Schwab never went down. They never restricted any trades. They never blocked GME buys, AMC buys. So because of that, I'd say I like them the most. See, how are indices doing? I think I have the paid market data on it. It's a CFD though, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so we're starting to see a little bit of like a hangman structure, maybe a little correction coming. Oil industry, yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier, very bullish. Probably goes higher. US oil. What's crude? CLF, I think. Yeah, CL. Yeah. I think, yeah, so this gave me a buy signal just recently. I think we have a lot more to go on oil, and if oil keeps going up, a lot of the market indices will keep going up also, because a lot of everything runs on oil still. And with the self-harm policy in Washington on oil, it drives more demand up and supply is getting crunched. So yeah, summer coming along, you're going to see oil continue to run. I think a long-term forecast of 100 makes sense. Green energy. So be careful in green energy, but don't be afraid to take a part of it, because they're throwing money at it. When they're throwing hundreds of millions, even billions of dollars into green energy stuff, it's going to go up. But it's also going to come down because of that, because it doesn't matter if they're making money or not. So eventually that music's going to stop, but right now it's not. If you want to invest, though, I like hydrogen, I like uranium, I like energy that actually works, and oil because of the supply crunches. But I'd be careful investing in oil companies and not the commodity itself. And the reason for that is because of the self-harm policies. They're gonna hurt these oil companies. They want green energy to move along going forward. So you want to be careful invested in oil companies, because they're going to hit them in ways that hurts with regulation. But oil will go up, which means your gas will go up, which means stuff like Oxy may still go up. But it's still a corp, and it's still going to get hit by regulations. But yeah, green energy, hydrogen, uranium. Be careful going in your satellites, because you know how you make solar panels? They use coal. A lot of people don't know that. To make solar panels, you need quartz and you need coal. Like, the hypocritical stories of this stuff is pretty wild to me, because you need coal to make solar panels. And then it's funny. So yeah, that's my thoughts on energy. Green energy, like hydrogen and uranium. EVs are hyped up now. Be careful in EVs, but you might be able to find a gem in the rough. But I like more alternative green energies like hydrogen and uranium. And actually, you guys got me a good idea. Lithium stuff. I don't really know any yet, but lithium is still worth getting into. Up 14% just today. Damn. So lithium is what's lithium, hydrogen, uranium. Careful in your satellites, careful in your EVs and electric stuff. That's my thoughts on it. And yeah, I like Thinkorswim Zen. That looks like a cool platform. I should use that. What you hodl. Did Tesla go under 800 yet? Not yet. ATR average true range is about 770. Probably goes there. I only have a little bit on my list lately. I should add some more. See, I have another portfolio tracker, though. I might be able to pull up, look at a few more things. Oh, for new traders, if you think the market's going to go down and you don't want to sell your positions because you like them so much, volatility indexes is something you can hedge into. We made this trade 5 times since September. We have bought at 20 and sold at 30 about 5 times. It's a great hedge. It's a great trade. And it's a good way to protect your assets in case of a market correction. And there's other things that fit the VIX, like UVXY. Not as good, in my opinion. You want to try to get the VIX, but also an alternative if your broker doesn't offer it. It's a great hedge, and it's a great trade. Made it 5 times. And this protects you against volatility, which means a crash or insane market movement. Right. The world it runs on oil. And the sad part is when you use oil and you become self-dependent on oil, that leads you to fund new energy instead of throwing money at stuff that's not profitable or hasn't worked in a decade. You know, the stuff that works, I think, are hydrogen, lithium, fission and fusion, uranium. That's the stuff to go into. Yeah, I agree. Buy in the dips. Oil's not going to go down, but they're going to try to kill it with regulation. Is my thoughts. So you got to be a little careful, but worth going into. Nice insight. Jay Suarez, I think is how you say it. Let me pull back Zynga, my favorite. Like I said, I'm not too worried about it because people sell off over earnings, so it's been making all its move in the after hours. So I'm just going to have to take the risk and hold through it. No, I know. Just everything's education, all opinion. Protect your risk in anything you want to go into, which is why, you know, I'm sharing some insight here. I don't want you guys to go all in on anything. Or, yeah, let me pull up plan. It's a, yeah, how do you even, I don't even know how you pronounce that. I really have no idea. I never knew. Planeter. It had a really good day yesterday, I think. Let's cut some of these off and let's take a look. Turn the grid on, maybe. Well, so you should look at your time frame. When you're beginning, you want to know how long you want to hold something and what you want to go into. Are you trying to invest? Are you trying to day trade? Are you trying to hold something for a month? Okay, so long term, you want to find your industries that you think are going to go up, have conviction and do your research, and then you want to slowly scale into them. And it depends on what you want to go into. So I think a portfolio index of about 8 stocks is pretty sufficient to hedge against it. And when you go into what you like, add on to your winners and then cut your losses. Cut the stocks that are not performing after a certain amount of time, say a week or 2, or maybe even a month, and then just put that in your winning stocks. And make sure you're in industry-specific stuff that you like. Yeah, you don't want to throw it all in one sector. So have a few that you think is going to. The cannabis is one. It's already in the green though, so be careful of corrections. Biopharm, biotech, agriculture, food services, cryptos, of course. Careful of the correction though. Like I said, it's hyped up already. Yeah, so you think like that, and then you slowly scale in. Don't go all in on your positions. Maybe have a hard stop loss where you want to get out. And if you're entering a portfolio, so if you have a 10K portfolio, where you have 100K. It's the same. Go in percentages. Don't go off your capital. Go in percent. And then adjust your positions based on how much the percent's going up or down. Dividends are good. I like them a lot. I buy Wendy's for that. I'm looking at more as we speak, actually. I'll have a list of more probably in the next month or so for Q2. But I do like dividends. I'm one of the few who do like dividends. I like the passive income with it. I'll have more in the future, but I think Wendy's is a good one. They increased their dividend payouts, actually. And I like this chop is nice for dividends. This is what you want to see for dividends. So they're back to basically where they were before COVID. So like Wendy's, there's lines everywhere now. Is it going up, AMC? I mean, it looked great. Yeah. I mean, see, even my indicators are saying it's good to go. I mean, $8 seems about right short term. Right here at this wick area. Nice confluence. Weak place to stop and reverse. Usually works. Let it rip. Technical trading is also important too when you're trading stuff like this. Use this stuff to buy your fundamentally good stuff, like your cannabis or your platinum holdings or your energy plays, maybe. Just don't treat that stuff as an investment. Yeah, so a lot of trial and error, a lot of experience, getting wrecked and learning on my own, basically. I'm about 5 years in now. I've been investing for a lot longer, though. I credit a lot of this stuff to poker as well. Yeah, I am actually. I'm Italian. And I think my ancestors came from Greece and moved to Roma. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But I know my cousin is, so I probably would be. I also like Emporos because it literally means journeyman, traveler, and trader. That is why I picked the name Emporos. I did pull up a ticker of stuff. BB, AMC, AMD, OCGN, Tesla, NOC. Zynga's actually up there on the sentiment list. Yeah, it's looking fine. Like, there's no issues with this. People sell off before earnings because they're scared, and that's probably a good thing. Like, the fundamentals and the accumulation I showed you before, everything adds up to it. It's worth the risk. Even if we might be wrong today, the acquisition, the iGaming stuff is still there, and the company is still solid. So eventually it will go back up. So just keep that in mind when you go into it, and you can add on or exit as you wish. Yeah, I know. I've been there before, buying into the hype of stuff. It happens to us all. You can get it back. Just don't lose. Try to reset. Don't let it bug you. Use that to learn and grow in the future. Wow. S&D really is going today. Turn the grid off before it drives my eyes nuts. And hey, trading is meant to be boring. Is making money boring? No, right? So you got to keep your trading as professional and as, good trading is kind of boring, to be honest. We're lucky we have this speculative mania going on, but making money is not boring, but good trading is usually pretty boring. You got me addicted to HCMC now. I'm really interested in how this is $10 billion, $400 million every 30 minutes. What is this thing? Food retail. I just love the sector, so I have to watch it now. I know, it's funny. I mean, So I'm saying you can trade it because the volume is so high. You're not going to get stuck at all in it. Bitcoin, anything special? Not really. Probably just ranging. Could go to 50K sooner, but also could go to 40 first. So you're kind of in the middle. You're stuck. 45K could go to 50, could go to 40. Could go to 50, then 40, or 40, then 50. We have to just give it more time. Not much to really say on it at this level besides this is what it did. Got to give it more time, that's all. They don't allow? What do you mean they don't allow? It's OTC. I bet Schwab has it. I'll have to check. It's delayed, so I don't even get the full picture. Where is this thing? I'll have to buy the market. Weed MD? That's the cannabis one. Was there a US one I just saw? No. No, it's Canadian. Schwab has Canadian stocks, which is cool. And here's the US. Is that the same one? See, they're doing this. So they're setting up these companies as in the US, but they're not fully. They're not the same thing. Stay away from that. This is a lot of room to go. Volume. 1 mil. Not bad. Mankind was about 1 mil when I found it. Now it's up 7x from what it was at $1. This is about to be $1. And it's agriculture. Yeah, good industry. That's why it's up. It's the best stuff right now. And it's not done. Yeah, nice find. I'm gonna have to make an agriculture sector actually. Call it agri. Start adding some of this stuff in there. So save your stuff for a rainy day when it goes down. You know, you don't have to enter. Zynga is something I watched for a month before entering. Watched for a month, entered at about 10.20. So even if it does go down, I still got about 10% on it. And I know it's going to go higher in the long run, so I'm not really worried at all on it. Nice corrections on the 3D printers for once. Like, this thing has not went down once. Finally, it went down. Then the speculative one is up. Volume is good for today. Defense stuff is good also. So aerospace and defense, does that sound familiar to you? With the Space Force and possible conflicts due to the resource crunch by pandemics. That's why I like it. Actually, those who asked about dividends, you can probably find a safe defense company stock that pays you good dividends. And the risk is probably low there because the buying demand for their manufacturing probably won't go down anytime soon because of COVID. It'll probably drive it up because they're going to be supplying all those people that need it. So I look into defense stocks for the next dividend move, actually. That's what I research next. Same with the agriculture sector. Find something that's kind of slow moving that pays you also. You can combine food services, fast food into agri also. So let's start that with like when. The triple W's. Do we have another W stock? Wayfair. No, not Wayfair. Retail trade, internet retail. I'm not a big trader of mainstream stuff like Stripe, PayPal, but they're also decent, but I don't like buying into that at this level. I like to find, as you saw, stuff like 3D printers or drones, other tech. I had some good coffee. Let's take a look at the news, huh? See what they're saying. Any new headlines? Facebook is said to be working on a Clubhouse competitor. Just talking about the big stuff, and then you find a reason to buy it. I have Clubhouse. It's that voice chat social media. It's okay. Yeah, Clubhouse competitor, Facebook. Pinnacle Bank Shares. Pinnacle Bank Shares declares 14-cent dividend. PPB, and what the heck is that? Oh, no, yeah, no thanks. Yeah, definitely not. U.S. 10-year notes, VPVR. Oh, here's one. Actually, I should talk about the energy theory I mentioned to you guys earlier. Plug Power. This is a big platinum, or not platinum. Well, platinum helps make hydrogen, and they're a big hydrogen company. Plug is hydrogen-based. So if that's any indication that hydrogen is real, then look to Plug. It's probably not done yet because of it, to be honest. But like I said, I can't safely recommend buying in at these levels without strict risk management, strict stops, and knowing what you're doing. Hold time needs to be lower on stuff like this for you new guys. Knee. Here's another energy one. What do they make? I like the average volume. Good average volume. Not bad. Move to 100 maybe short term? Nextera. 1.67% dividends. There you go. That's kind of crap though for dividends, but 163 bill market cap. Pretty high. Too bad the dividends isn't higher. That'd be something that I want to go into. Yeah, see, weak level play. This grid, it works. It's Murray math, basically, for those of you who are tech savvy. That's all, really. Not bad. Could go to 100. Monthly looks good. I have to know what energy it is, though. Is it EV? Is it electric? Is it hydrogen? Is it, what type of energy? Earnings beat, Associate General. What the heck is that? I don't even know. Associate. Oh, some ETC, OTC stock. Kind of meh on the volume, 300K. Don't see anything special there, honestly. Just checking the newest news. Toyota to unveil new EVs for U.S. market that will go on sale in 2022. Clover Health had a very big FUD report by Hindenburg. So Hindenburg has a pretty good track record. So be careful with Clove. Muddy Waters said eHealth was crap in the hundreds. So be careful with eHealth also. Looks like it's about at the end of its move, to be honest. Careful on those two, for those of you who know of it. New EV. I don't like EVs. I like hydrogen. Hydrogen car. Whatever, people like it. Do people even buy it for the EV? Like, I want to buy that stuff for the AI. Maybe that's what we look into. AI, more AI stuff. I wonder if there's any companies. I haven't really seen AI. It's kind of been under the radar. That stuff gets more powerful every year. So, what was it? FCEL? Fuel cell. That's a great ticker. Who made a great ticker? Wow. This is nice. I need to put this in the main watch list. Thanks, Velk. I like it. Great volume. I love all hydrogen. I can't not buy it. Up a little bit, but because of the history, I think it's great still. Oh, you're in it? Yeah, I definitely keep. That's a good investment, man. I knew it, man. I've been saying hydrogen over this EV junk for a while. EV stuff is all speculative to me. It never worked for a decade. Why would it just change just because they're throwing trillions into it? Don't think it works that way. I'll look at PowerSell. Earnings coming up March. Good volume. No dividend yield, unfortunate. That's such a huge spike. Wow, I wish I found this stuff in October. I knew hydrogen was good. I just don't know what I've got to get my screener up and running. Great find. See, the thing is, too, for you new guys, don't rush. Slow down. There's opportunities every day. You can even flip any side of the market you want. Just take it easy. Don't rush. There's always ideas. There's always opportunity. It never ends. So do not rush into stuff. And PowerSell. I can type it in or pull it up. Sweden. So they have an OTC in US for Sweden. P-Cell. Should I look at the Sweden one or the OTC one? Let's do Sweden. Volume in Sweden. Not bad. 500K. And then OTC US one. Let's see. See, they always do this. It's all. Can't buy that. There's no volume on it. You'll be stuck. You lose all your money. Or at least have to wait for a year. You have to buy the Sweden one. That's cool, though. Oil going up. VIX up a bit, too. Futures at, let's see. Pretty flat for the day. Bitcoin flat at 45 also. I'm mostly for today, I'm waiting on Zynga and I'm riding SNDL. Probably close some SNDL 5 minutes before the close. Oil. Actually, I can show you guys a quick little stop loss trick in these markets, just with oil alone. So when you see stuff that goes up and up like this, use the 3-day or daily and put a trailing stop after each daily close. So when it closes on February, you put your stop loss at 51. That didn't really work. Hold on. Let's use the Ray. So you put your stop loss here. And then the next daily close, you put it at 53. Then here. And you keep doing this for each daily close. And eventually, it will stop you out after you make enormous profit and you get to ride your winner. So you could be riding this for 7 days making profits and not getting stopped out as it goes upward. It's called the elevator. It's a really good stop loss, trailing stop loss tactic. Use that when you see this parabola is running on the short and long side. It's very useful, more effective on the 3-day or daily, but you have to be extremely patient and you have to be able to handle swings. And you have to wait for the close of each candle and then you move your stop loss up. Very helpful for some of this stock. So it would save you a lot of money when it does go down. And this is why platinum is going up, because of hydrogen, by the way. And because palladium is really high. Palladium, sorry. I have a funny way of saying some words. Aluminium. What is even aluminum? I don't even know the ticker. Where's the future ticker on aluminum? There it is. Mexican. What is that? What's a good aluminum corp? No volume, huh? Yeah, no volume on that one. Why's the... I don't know what exchange that is. Ooh. Why is everything always... Why am I missing stuff by like a day? Do you see that? Like, come up with an idea and look, it's already... Someone beat me to it. Jeez. I want in on this too now. All right, I'll just... Let me remind her to get aluminum later. Hopper. I used the CME, so I'm not sure what MCX was. I don't really use TradingView for futures that much because you have to pay for the data. Even though it looks like I am paying for the data, I guess. I don't know. Not this one, I guess. These futures are delayed. Maybe I'm not then. Oh yeah, copper. Everything. Metals flying. Fine with me. Everything going up but silver and gold. So the other metals are going up. Platinum almost 5% for the day. I'm very big on platinum. It's what I tweet the most. You guys enjoy my voice that much? No more questions? I tend to ramble a bit. That's some good tea. Tea and news is great. Hey, no problem. I love doing this. I really enjoy meeting all of you. It's been a while. A roller coaster. Frappe. I like cappuccino sometimes. Or just black tea, black coffee. I get a cappuccino because there's really good... There's this good cafe, drive-through cafe near me. I'll have to go through it. Which gives me to my next idea. See, look. You guys be surprised how this stuff... Is it? I don't know the symbol. I don't know. Let me figure out the symbol. I think it's KC. Yeah, it's KC. Actually, it's pretty flat. Coffee's not going up that much. Kind of choppy. Oh yeah, I do have Ecofin team. I share mostly my own journal. Just share ideas. Emporosresearch.com also, if you want to keep up to date on some of my theories. I'm going to start releasing a lot more. Like SNDL is one of mine for the month. Got it at 47. Live traded, managed, and all. Same with Space is another one. That's on the blog. Really excited to see what Zynga does, though. I really am just waiting for that after hours move. I don't know. Maybe I'll be disappointed. Maybe I won't be. We will see. Just be careful in these markets, guys. A lot of parabol, a lot of hype. You know, there's always opportunities out there. You don't have to rush. As I showed you, there's tons of things that people aren't even looking at. Always special plays under the radar that are liquid too. So do not rush. Be careful. And if you're gonna ride the wave, you're gonna jump in. Know what you're doing. If something goes up 100. Actually, here's a good example. Naked. Where's Naked at? Oh, up 25% today. Look at that. Catch the whiplash on the bounces. Be careful of the dead cat, but catch the whiplashes. Same thing with AMC today, huh? Up higher a little bit. Yeah, naked. Interesting. Volume on this thing? Yeah, very good volume. What's the grid say? Math lines. 177, maybe not. 150. 23%. Cryptos always doing their thing. Tesla's going to go down. It's going to crash below 8, I think. Michael Burry, man, such a good... He kills it. I've never seen a guy so accurate in what he does. Thanks, Prince. Appreciate it, man. I can scout out a few last-minute things if you want. It's just basics, you know. We can map. We can do a lot more in the future if you want. I love this. There's so much more to go on platinum. So what that tells me is platinum hydrogen stocks going to go up a lot more. I love this monthly candles. We're going to be in a commodity boom, I think. And agriculture is a commodity. I mean, EmporosResearch.com. I'll just check out the ideas. You know, I'll let you know of anything that comes up. You can check it, you know, a few times a week, once a week, anytime. No big deal. I love it. This won't stop. I love it. Zynga better perform. It looks good though. The candles look good. Keep running, SNDO. I think you guys have a top gainer, right? Do you have the highest gainers in your team? Those are very useful to check out also. Wow, it's cruising. 56%. Look at this. Look at this market. And does the white background work, or does it cut you off? I don't know. I feel like the candles are blurry in the white background. I don't know. Just checking. SNDL ripping, man. Could it go to 3 by the end of close? So this is what I mean by catching on the wave. You got to be careful, but there is logic to it as well. So I have these indicators to help on the 15-minute. You know, you don't want to hold this too long if you jump in late. Just try to get in early so you don't have to worry about that stuff. That's really happy with SNDL though. That's a good thing. All right, let's see any new news, and then I think we're going to wrap it. Bondex, new supply, Under Armour beat. What the heck is Under Armour doing? I haven't even looked at any of that type of stocks in years. And that's what? It gapped up that much for an earnings move? 12%. And then continuation probably to like 25, I would assume. Wow. Wow. So buy stuff like this for the summer, I think, isn't a bad idea either. Like, what is American, not Airlines, what is that store, retail store? I don't even know what it's called. I can't remember it. What the heck? I'll have to look into it more. I can't remember what it's called. Like, American, yeah. American Eagle, AEO, okay. This ripped much earlier than I thought for some reason. Is there anything competitor to them? Maybe look into that. That's probably not done either. Back to where they were in 2018. Man, a Cheesecake Factory, what did they do? Emerges from bankruptcy and shifts to natural gas production? What? Did I really just read that? What are they doing? Natural gas? That's kind of hilarious. The headline is Cheesecake Chesapeake Energy, not Cheesecake Factory. I read it wrong. Damn, I must be sleepy. Well, here's cake, I guess. And then Chesapeake Energy. Like I said, careful with the oil stuff, though, because... What? Look what it did. That's today. Well, there's your oil play. A little late, though, again. We'll have to do this more, catch some stuff early next time, huh? But I don't see what I mean. Natural gas production. I thought there's a, self-harm policy against natural gas in Washington. I do not know how that will play out. Citadel founder Ken Griffin is expected to testify next week. Oh, that sounds great. Iran produced first uranium metal. Grand. Is that good for uranium? Yeah, I guess. One quant fund wants to hire sentiment traders from WallStreetBets. Oh, there you go. I guess if they're producing uranium metal, though, that would drive the supply up, huh? Demand needs to meet that supply. Otherwise, it won't go up. Wow, you guys see S&DL up more? I can give you a live action of a late entry ride the wave type style trade in chat. So you can analyze the sentiment, the momentum. You could jump in, put a tight stop in. There's volume, right? Over a bill. So you can ride it, and you would make like 8%, and you have to get out. The only way you can stay in is if you found it and got in earlier. It's a lot easier and better for your stress levels and your peace of mind if you get in at 47 cents and you can let this run and then add on to your position then. If you're just jumping in after seeing something up a lot, you got to be very, very careful. But the strategy does work if you're careful. And I do not recommend that to new traders, to be honest. But it's a good example of it. But I think that it adds up. I'm going to sell right before 3, right before the close, I think. And we could see like a wick. Like this could go all the way back down to 230 in any time. A lot of earnings popping up now. MAC. Don't even know what some of these are. Doesn't look great. Real estate investment trusts. Kind of a fan of staying away from that right now because of the evictions. Just something, like I said, a lot of opportunities out there. So I don't need to stick to something that's doing good, but not necessarily the safest play longer term. Anyway, that's mostly it for the news. Not much coming up through it for now. Anyway, guys, I think that about will wrap it up. Unless you want to watch S&DL rip for a bit more. Glad you enjoyed, Casey. I had fun too. Thank you, Jahari, for letting me do this. It was a really good time. Hope you all learned something. Protect your portfolios. Do not get stuck in the hype. Hedge. protect your risk, but don't be afraid to make moves if you have conviction either. You know, like, you can't bet. There's no farm to bet if you don't. But also be very careful. And expect like 20% drops in a lot of this stuff. You know, you got to be careful. That's all. If you can survive 20 to 30% hits, then you're fine. That's all. Simple as I can be on that. Thank you. Thank you again. Glad you all enjoyed. Let's hope Zynga earnings are nice. And if it's not, we can buy the dip on it for those of you who haven't got in. Wait for the iGaming news, because they're doing conferences on the 11th tomorrow, actually, also. So they're having an earnings call and then an investor conference. iGamings are into it. EA purchased Glue, which when we bring up Glue, what did they do today? $12.50 they bought it for Glue. So if this little company, which is worse than Zynga, is $12.50 and Zynga's $11, it makes zero sense to me why it won't go up. So, yeah. That's awesome, Jahari. Looking forward to it. Glad you all enjoyed. 2 minutes, we'll pull off. We'll just watch SNDL for a little bit longer. Anything else I could pull up real quick, too? Serum, man, wow. These cryptos, I don't know what to tell you. They won't go down. Platinum, big fan. It is not done at all. I say day trade silver and gold to buy and invest and hold platinum. Silver works, but I don't like overcrowded trades as much. So I do stuff like platinum. And as you see, the payoff is nice, huh? It's up 5% today, and all the other metals are down. But aluminum and copper are up also, which tells me that there's some shenanigans going on. I'm going to build up the agri list a bit too. The S&D, fun. Tesla drop anymore? Holding its own, but I'm not convinced this is done yet. So 3-day, I mean, it seems normal to correct. People do take profits eventually. All right, guys. I think that about wraps it up. You all have a great rest of your trading day. Hopefully I see you all again. Really enjoyed this. And I will be signing off in about 30 seconds. Thanks, Batman and Valk. Remember, EmporosResearch.com. If you want to join my team, you can also. There's links on basically at the end of every blog post. You can see it. So enjoy. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe out there. Stay frosty. Enjoy this market while it lasts. And even if it does go down eventually, it's really something else goes up. It's not a big deal. Just protect your portfolio so you have ammo. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. Signing off.